This is Ggn News Focus. This segment focuses on stories about Gwangju and Jeonnam that are useful to know in your daily life.
Ggn 뉴스 포커스에서는 일상생활에서 알아두면 좋은 지역 뉴스에 대해 알려드립니다.
Gwangju City urges vaccinations and adherence to health guidelines due to a surge in whooping cough cases.
100일의 환자가 급증함에 따라 광주시가 예방접종 및 수칙 준수를 당부했습니다.
With the first whooping cough-related death recently reported in South Korea, Gwangju City is urging timely vaccination to prevent further spread of the disease. The city government is specifically recommending that adults, including pregnant women and family members living with infants under the age of 1, get vaccinated to protect these vulnerable young children. Currently, a total of 30,332 cases of whooping cough have been reported across the country, with children and adolescents accounting for 87.7% of cases, indicating a widespread outbreak. Gwangju has also seen a sharp rise, with 612 cases reported this year, more than a 30-fold increase compared to last year. To ensure newborns have some immunity to whooping cough before their first vaccinations, pregnant women in their third trimester are strongly encouraged to get vaccinated. Timely vaccinations for infants, specifically at 2, 4, and 6 months of age, are also essential.
광주광역시는 국내에서 첫 100일의 사망자가 발생함에 따라 100일의 예방을 위해 적기 예방접종을 당부했습니다. 특히 1세 미만 영아 보호를 위해 임신부와 동거가족 등 성인들도 예방접종할 것을 권고했습니다. 현재 100일의 전체 발생자 수는 총 3332명으로 소아 청소년이 전체의 87.7%를 차지하며 전국적으로 유행하고 있습니다. 광주도 전년보다 30배 이상 증가한 총 612명이 발생했습니다. 생후 첫 접종 이전 영아가 100일에 대한 면역을 가지고 태어날 수 있도록 임신 3기 임신부 예방접종이 반드시 필요합니다. 특히 생후 12개월 미만 영아는 빠짐없이 2, 4, 6개월에 적기 예방접종을 하는 것이 매우 중요합니다.
Gwangju City to strengthen fire safety management at large lodging facilities.
광주시가 대형 숙박업소 화재 안전 관리를 강화합니다.
To reduce casualties from large-scale winter fires, Gwangju City is enhancing fire safety cooperation with large lodging facilities. Starting on the 14th in Gwangsan District, the city signed fire safety management cooperation agreements between lodging facilities, district offices, and fire stations in each district. The agreement will include 32 local lodging facilities with over 50 rooms. The purpose of this agreement is to raise awareness of fire risks in lodging facilities and to prevent fires and minimize potential damage. Key aspects of the agreement include joint fire prevention inspections by district offices and fire departments, support for fire safety education and drills, and guidance on evacuation and using emergency descent devices to minimize casualties. Lodging facilities, in turn, will fulfill fire safety obligations as stipulated by law.
광주시가 겨울철 대형 화재로 인한 인명피해를 줄이기 위해 대형 숙박업소에 대한 화재 안전관리 협력을 강화합니다. 광주광역시는 14일 광산구를 시작으로 자치구별 순차적으로 숙박업소, 자치구, 소방서 간 화재 안전관리 협력을 위한 업무 협약을 체결했습니다. 협약 참여 숙박업소는 50객실 이상 지역 숙박업소 32곳입니다. 이번 협약은 숙박업소에서 발생할 수 있는 화재 사고에 대한 경각심을 고취하고 숙박업소 화재 사전 예방과 피해를 최소화하기 위한 것입니다. 협약서의 주요 내용은 자치구와 소방서는 화재 예방을 위한 합동점검, 소방안전교육 훈련 지원, 인명피해 최소화를 위한 화재 대피 및 완강기 사용법 안내와 교육 등을 진행하며 숙박업소는 법령 등에 규정된 화재 안전 의무사항을 수행하게 됩니다.
Gwangju City inspects snow removal plans in preparation for heavy winter snowfall.
광주시가 겨울철 폭설 대비 제설 대책을 점검합니다.
The Gwangju Metropolitan City Construction Headquarters is conducting preemptive inspections to minimize citizen inconvenience and ensure safe transportation during winter snowfall. From November 15 until March 15, 2025, the city will observe a road snow removal period organizing 3 teams with 32 personnel for quick and efficient snow removal operations. Based on weather conditions, the city will carry out snow removal along 96 kilometers of designated routes. In preparation, they have inspected 42 snow removal vehicles across 7 equipment types and replaced aging equipment as needed. Gwangju will monitor weather conditions 24/7 and operate emergency response teams according to weather alerts to respond immediately. If snowfall is forecasted, snow removal will begin promptly.
광주광역시 종합건설본부는 겨울철 강설에 대비해 시민의 불편을 최소화하고 안전한 교통환경 확보를 위해 사전준비 점검에 나섰습니다. 본부는 오늘부터 2025년 3월 15일까지 도로 제설 대책 기간으로 정하고 세계반 32명의 제설 작업반을 편성, 신속하고 효율적인 제설 작업을 수행할 계획입니다. 기상 상황에 따라 제설 투입 계획을 세워 종합건설본부 지정 노선 13개 노선, 총 96구간에 대해 제설 작업을 진행할 예정입니다. 또 제설 사전 준비를 위해 제설 장비 7종 42대에 대한 점검과 노후 장비를 교체했습니다. 광주시는 기상 상황을 24시간 모니터링하고 기상특보가 발령되면 단계별 비상근무조를 운영해 즉각 대응할 예정입니다. 강설이 예고되면 신속히 제설 작업을 수행합니다.
Gwangju to conduct emergency drill for ultra-fine dust response.
광주시가 초미세먼지 재난 대응 모의 훈련을 실시합니다.
Gwangju Metropolitan City will conduct an emergency drill today to prepare for high concentrations of ultrafine dust expected during the winter months. This drill is intended to review the readiness and cooperation systems of various agencies ahead of the ultrafine dust season. Through this exercise, the city will simulate rapid communication of high ultrafine dust levels and assess response systems across entities responsible for implementing reduction measures, including emissions-controlled facilities and construction sites. If improvements are identified, the city plans to update its crisis management manual to ensure thorough preparedness for ultrafine dust emergencies.
광주광역시는 오늘 겨울철 고농도 초미세먼지 발생에 대비한 재난 대응 모의 훈련을 실시합니다. 이번 모의 훈련은 초미세먼지 농도가 높아지는 시기를 앞두고 기관별 준비 상황 및 협조 체계를 점검하기 위해 마련됐습니다. 광주시는 이번 훈련을 통해 실제 저감 조치를 이행하는 기관부터 미세먼지 배출 저감 대상 사업장 공사장까지 고농도 미세먼지 상황을 신속하게 전파하고 이행 체계를 점검할 예정입니다. 개선이 필요할 경우 위기관리 매뉴얼을 보완해 초미세먼지 재난 상황에 철저하게 대비할 계획입니다.
Gwangju to host Yeosu Festival on the 16th.
광주시가 16일 청소년 상상 페스티벌을 개최합니다.
Gwangju Metropolitan City will hold the 2024 Gwangju Youth Sangsang Festival, planned and organized by local youth, on November 16 at the May 18 Democracy Square. Celebrating its 11th year, the festival is a leading local youth event that highlights the imagination and creativity of young people, offering a variety of attractions and hands-on activities. The festival, managed entirely by the Youth Cultural Planning Committee from initial planning to the main event, will feature 60 diverse programs under 4 themes: experiences, games, cooking, and performances, organized by 15 local youth organizations.
광주광역시는 오는 16일 5.18 민주광장 일대에서 지역 청소년들이 직접 기획하고 준비한 2024 광주 청소년 상상 페스티벌을 개최합니다. 상상 페스티벌은 청소년들의 상상력과 창의력을 엿볼 수 있는 지역 대표 청소년 축제로 올해 11주년을 맞아 다양한 볼거리와 체험 활동 등이 마련됩니다. 이날 행사는 기획 단계부터 본행사에 이르는 전 과정에 주도적으로 참여한 청소년 문화기획단이 진행하고 지역 청소년 기관 15개 기관에서 체험, 놀이, 요리, 공연 등 4개를 주제로 60여 개의 다채로운 프로그램을 선보입니다.
I hope you enjoyed Ggn News Focus. Coming right up, Gwangju.
오매광주 afternoon, culture lovers!
And welcome to 오매광주!
We are your hosts, Dave
and Lindsay.
Welcome to another edition of our show. It's Friday, November 15th today.
That's right. 저는 Lindsay.
저는 Dave입니다.
안녕하세요. Dave, we did it. All of us have made it to the end of another week.
Wow, it's been a tough one, Lindsay. A bit of a slog at times. I'm so glad we've made it in one piece, though.
That's right. We got a bit of a cloudy, dreary, typical fall day out there, but you know what? There's a huge segment of the population who is, I'm sure, feeling great today, and that's all the suamsangs from yesterday.
Oh, definitely true. I thought you were going to say our listeners. No doubt. Delighted to be tuning into our show.
Oh, of course.
That goes without saying. We hope that we'll be able to cheer all of you guys up for the next 2 hours. Hour and 50 minutes to be specific. Of course, Lindsay and I here Monday to Friday from 12 till 2 p.m. Today, we will start it all off with Ride the K-Wave, about everything related to K-culture.
That's right, and after that, we'll dive into the latest cultural trends to explore some of the hottest spots in and around Gwangju.
And listeners, we would always love to invite you to join us as well. 그래서 혹시 방송 중에 저희와 공유하고 싶은 사연이나 신청곡 있으시면 언제든 문자 주시고요.
That's right, send us your song requests and anything else you'd like into sharp 9870.
샵 9870으로 문자 많이 보내주세요.
Of course, you are tuned in to Ggn. That means you're listening at 98.7 FM in Gwangju and 93.7 FM over in Yeosu.
그럼 지금부터 오매광주와 함께 신나는 문화 여행을 떠나보겠습니다. Lindsay.
Yes?
우리 오늘의 첫 번째 곡은 뭘까요?
You know what? I'm kind of feeling like I wish I was on a plane today, maybe to Los Angeles by Haim.
Welcome back to 오매광주.
It is time to ride the K-Wave. We are taking you on a journey through Korea's must-see destination. Every Friday, we want to give you guys some tips as to what you should get up to over the weekend. Right, Dave?
Absolutely right. We, of course, looking for places to go at this time of year, maybe some nice spots to travel to. Lindsay, you got any tips to share with me? Where would be a good spot to visit?
Ooh, well, you know, Dave, there's one thing that I am addicted to, and it is chairlifts. So, if you want a fun fall activity,
You're
not too
addicted
expensive.
to chairlifts.
I love riding chairlifts.
Okay.
It's all of the benefits
it's
of
the
hiking.
simple things in life that, keep us ticking over, right?
That's right. What did we call it? The soaking?
Oh,
Even more
soaking.
soaking. Yeah.
Yep.
But if it's you get to enjoy the benefits of hiking,
Yep.
fresh air, getting to the top without any of the
You
exercise
don't have to
required.
move your legs.
Mm.
Where would you recommend in particular?
Definitely here in Gwangju, there is a famous chairlift/monorail. You can
Yep.
check it out in the east of the city. I think it's just called the Mudung. I don't even think they call it cable car anymore. I think it's Mudung Lift, like
Oh.
that. I always recommend it to
There you
anyone
go.
who wants like an easy, fun thing. How about you?
I concur. I also recommend that place.
Don't you take my idea?
Not far from us here, Sajik in the center of Gwangju. We got a lovely observation tower, 전망대.
You know what? In my 15 years of being in Gwangju, I have never once A, seen a Mudungsan Subak,
Oh.
or B, been to the top of that Sajik Park
Well,
Tower.
wouldn't you know? I've seen a Budungsang Subak at the top of that tower, so
Is that
that's
where-
where you've gone wrong.
Is that where they are?
Yeah, that's where they keep them.
Ah, see, that's what it is. All
Those
right. Mm-hmm.
are some good spots to check out. Yeah, but I think today I'm feeling a bit hungry. We're going to talk about some food destinations.
Yeah. You know what, Dave? I'm hungry and I'm also feeling a little bit run down.
Well, Lindsay, I have got the perfect food for you.
Do you?
I do.
Is it delicious?
It is delicious. All right.
Is it sweet?
It's not really.
Okay,
It's
give me some more hints. Then.
It comes from the sea.
It comes from the sea.
And people actually refer to it, I just learned a few minutes ago, as the milk of the sea.
The milk, not the chicken of the sea.
Not the chicken. What's the chicken of the sea?
Tuna.
Tuna, not the chicken of the sea. The milk of the sea. 바다의 우유라고 할 수 있을까?
You know what? Now that I try to visualize that, it's a
Yeah.
little bit weird. Okay, so it's something white and it comes from the sea.
Yes. Did I say it was white?
Well, isn't milk white? Isn't that
Ah,
what it is?
that's why it's white.
I don't know.
It's got tons of amino acids, lots of calcium.
Ooh.
So you said you're feeling a bit run down.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sure our listeners know what I'm talking about. They're shouting at the radio, Lindsay!
I don't know. You've gotten my blind spot. What are we talking about?
Good. We're talking about oysters.
Oysters.
Because they are just entering their season now. Lindsay, are you a fan of oysters?
You know what? I'm going to be. I commit to be 100% real with our listeners
Yeah.
at all time. I am not a fan
그러니까
of
며칠
oysters.
전에 해산물 안 먹는다고 하셨잖아요.
That's right. How about you? Are you an oysters fan?
I like oysters.
Oh, that's
I wouldn't
good.
say I love them, but I like them.
Like a solid 6.5.
Maybe a 6.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, 6.5. Depending on how they're presented, because one thing I can tell you about oysters, 아주 다양하게 먹을 수 있는 음식이에요.
That's right.
There are
And
lots of different ways to eat them.
we eat them all around the world, so I'm sure that internationally too, there's a lot of ways to prepare them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever eaten oysters back in Canada?
Well, I've seen them, and I think in Canada, usually people either eat them raw with lemon juice or a little bit of hot sauce.
a little bit of Tabasco.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Or they eat them, I think it's called Rockefeller, oysters Rockefeller, which is breaded and
fancy.
fried, I think,
Wow.
or baked. How about you in the UK? How do you guys eat
Yeah, a
them?
couple of years ago, I actually went to a pretty fancy restaurant in London.
They call them oyster bars, right? Was it an oyster bar?
It wasn't an oyster
Oh,
bar.
okay.
Not quite. I'm not quite fancy enough to go to such a place, Lindsay. But I did order some oysters, and they were quite expensive. Maybe something like, I don't know, £50 for 6 oysters.
For 6?
But they were lovely. They were rather large. Came on a big platter, very nicely presented.
Like with the ice.
With the ice. They were in ice. And like you just said, there was some lemons dotted around and some little tiny bottle of Tabasco. And I was not familiar with the process of eating oysters. So I asked the waiter, I was a bit embarrassed, "Excuse me, sir. I want to eat some oysters, but I've never have tried them before."
You know what? For us eyes, Dave, that is a very brave thing to do,
Fortunately,
right?
that person was very friendly. We're like, "Oh yeah, no problem. I'll give you the advice how to do it. Just take it in your hand, put it in front of your mouth, put a little bit of lemon and lime, a little bit of Tabasco, and just drink it, slurp it up." And
Do you
I
not-
did do that, and it was fantastic.
Hold on. Do you not chew oysters? Like, not you, but like people in general.
Good question.
Are they not chewed
I guess
as
you
a
can
food?
chew them. You can eat them however you want, Lindsay.
Whoa, so people actually swallow them whole.
I guess so. It's quite
Interesting.
slippery. Yeah, exactly
like some
that.
Jello going right
Exactly
down
like
the
that.
hatch.
Well, I can say it was very yummy, very satisfying, a fully visceral experience. You know, not just the food, the presentation, the ambience.
Wow.
That really helps. So I enjoyed the oysters back then, but I know in Korea, Lindsay,
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole other game when it comes to oysters.
Man, like here, oysters are part of that 보양식
Oh.
style, right? Like when you're a little bit run down,
Yeah.
or as people like to say, you need some stamina.
Yep.
It's one of those foods that you can definitely indulge in that, and that's because you mentioned that it has a lot of good things. There's a lot of
amino
health
acids,
benefits.
a lot of calcium, and it also just tastes nice. It's good for your mental health.
Oh, is it?
I guess.
I guess so.
That's just my own
Ah,
conclusion.
the 마시는 거.
맛있으면,
맞아요. I heard
yeah.
they also have a lot of omega-3s
Yep.
in them, iron, zinc, copper, manganese. So, dang, they are definitely up
What's
there.
manganese?
Manganese is
Never
an
heard that word before.
element
Is it?
here in the earth.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's an important thing to eat.
Definitely.
Apparently, atomic number 25. Must have missed that day in chemistry class.
There you go.
But yeah, basically, they're really healthy.
Yeah, that's right. And so here in Korea, we see them often with 보양식. A little bit, as I think same in the West, a little bit more of an expensive, a little bit more of a luxury food. I've seen them particularly along with abalone in juk. Sometimes if you're sick, you can get them in juk.
전복이랑.
Yeah. Have you ever seen them here in Korea?
Yeah.
What ways have they been
lots of different
served?
ways. But actually, I just, before we started, I asked my wife, what are you planning to do this evening? She told me she's got plans with friends to go and eat some gulbolsam.
Ooh.
One of the favorites of her.
Is that
Interesting combination.
so? It's actually the boiled pork from Bosam
Yeah.
with oysters
With
together.
oysters.
Oh.
Chuck them on the top. Great
Look at
combination.
that.
So that's a pretty popular one right now. I'm going from an audience of one. She told me that she likes it.
It's a pretty big sample group. We
Yeah.
like that one. I have definitely seen kurgui, which is
Yeah.
just like, I guess they just
that's
roast them in
lovely.
the shells.
I love that one. I've been to some great places with that, Lindsay, where the shell, you put it on top of the coals, put a little bit of butter, maybe a little cheese
And
in
it
there.
just cooks right in
It
the
cooks
shell.
in there, and you wait. You know it's cooked when it pops
Wow.
right out.
Whoa.
So you pop it out, down
Yum.
the hatch.
Do you swallow that one or do you have to chew it when it's cooked?
Good point. I mean, I just enjoy it so much. Probably straight down the hatch.
Just take a shot of it.
Yeah,
Why not,
That's
right?
a good one. Any others you know of?
I have had the pleasure of trying
Mm-hmm.
a 5-year aged 굴 젓갈.
Oh,
And so
that's brave.
I will report that it is used as that.
Okay.
Yep.
그런 식으로 먹는 사람 있다고요.
맞아요.
네.
Especially for if you're making some 양념, maybe for kimchi or stuff. I know it's also you can make like the 굴 젓갈 for that as well.
Because the interesting thing is 굴, like you have to eat it fresh.
Yeah.
신선하게 먹어야 맛있고 뭐 건강하잖아요.
That's right. Or you can preserve it like in salt or ferment it and use
see.
it more as like a seasoning, I think.
See, what's the reason we're talking about 굴 today?
Oh, well, gurs are now in season. So they are in season from October to February.
Yeah.
So now is the perfect time. And if you're feeling maybe like me, a little bit run down from the change in season, 환절기, it's the perfect time to enjoy oysters. And Dave and I have prepared our favorite places to go
Yep.
for oysters for you guys out there. But before we get into that, what do you think, Dave? Shall we listen to a song? We can't possibly have an oyster-themed song, could we?
Maybe not an oyster-themed song, but an oyster-themed band.
What?
Is what we're going to listen to. This classic song we know you're going to enjoy. We'll be back on the other side of Blue Oyster Cult with Don't Fear the Reaper.
to 오매광주 here on GGN. And you know what, Dave?
What's that?
It's time for our Sharp 9870 quiz.
Yes, I'm so delighted. I love our Sharp 9870 quiz. It's always a lot of fun. I love seeing our listeners get involved. And you know what, Lindsay?
What,
Today,
Dave?
not just listeners, but potentially even viewers too.
Viewers? No! I signed up for radio because no one has to see my face. What are you talking about?
Well, Lindsay, you don't need to hide anything. I'm sure our listeners will now want to become viewers. And that's what we look like. If you do, just go on to YouTube, search for Ggn Global광주방송. You'll be able to see us live streaming our show. We do it every Tuesday, every Friday. It's a lot of fun. Lindsay's getting a lot of compliments today. 상큼하다고 하신 분도 있었고요.
Hey, you have like a brand new fan, Dave. In fact.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know, but if you guys want to interact with us in the chat, you can get involved. We'll be responding to you in real time.
Well, I will.
Oh, that's true.
Lindsay is not doing it.
I can't multitask. I can only talk or type. I can't talk and type. But another thing is you could see some viral moments happen in real time.
Viral moments.
Because GGN also now has shorts you can check out on YouTube anytime. We have quite a few hilarious shorts taken from our show that have gone a little bit viral,
I don't know
Dave.
if we can say they've gone viral.
I feel like Gwangju viral.
Okay.
Right? Not nationally viral.
Listeners, check it out. You could be the judges of that. Again, just check out our YouTube channel, GGN Global광주방송. We'd love to see your comments. We'd love to see you guys getting involved in the chat. And, of course, we'd love to have your answer to the quiz question, too.
That's right. All right, Dave, shall we dive into today's Sharp 9870 quiz?
I would think that is a perfect idea, Lindsay. What is the question for today?
자, 이맘때면 식당에서 슬슬 게시하는 해산물이 있죠.
맞아요. This seafood, which is also very popular globally in our home countries of the UK and Canada too, is actually sometimes referred to as an aphrodisiac.
바람둥이 가사노바도 프랑스 황제 나폴레옹도 이집트 여왕 클레오파트라도 즐겨 먹어 있다고 알려져 있는데요.
그렇죠. And this food, enjoyed by all of those historic figures and enjoyed by me and to some extent Lindsay too, is now in season. And you can enjoy it in one of many different dishes. 자, 구이부터 초무침, 전, 죽까지 다양한 요리로 맛볼 수 있습니다. This food is also known for its rich nutritional value, and as we said before, Lindsay, it is even often referred to as the milk of the sea.
The milk of the sea.
네.
풍부한 영양분으로 바다의 우유이라고도요. 이 불리는 이 해산물은 무엇일까요? What is the name of this delicious seafood?
네.
Is it A,
새우,
B,
굴,
or C?
낙지.
One more time, we're looking for that aphrodisiac, Cleopatra, Napoleon, Casanova, Dave McGee. What do they all enjoy? Is it A,
새우,
B,
굴,
or C?
낙지.
All right, now send your answers and anything else you'd like into Sharp 9870. Now, short messages will cost you 51, longer messages will cost you 100 won. 맞죠, Dave?
네, 맞습니다. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원 문자 수시로도 있습니다. 정답을 아시는 분들은 샵 9870으로 문자 보내주세요. 퀴즈 정답뿐만 아니라 신청곡이나 재미있는 사연도 대환영입니다.
퀴즈 정답을 맞추신 분들께 for all of our quiz winners, we have some great prizes. From B Hospital.
A culture voucher.
From Sumneb.
An easy breathing mask.
From C Hospital, specializing in egg freezing.
A free infertility test.
And from Chungjangno's new wine bar and restaurant, Le Pahe.
A gift certificate for your next delicious meal.
Just tell us what aphrodisiac is in season right now. It's the milk of the sea, not to be confused with the chicken of the sea.
Which is tuna, I just learned.
That's right. All right, Dave. Do you have any other hints you could possibly give to our listeners?
I'm going to tell you guys to pay close attention to the name of this band and think about the Korean version of this word. Bit of a handful to get your head around that. But this is Pearl and the Oysters with Pacific Avenue. Pearl and the oysters right there with Pacific Ocean. That was a lovely song.
Ooh.
Kind of felt like eating an oyster.
Is that what it feels like to eat an oyster?
Yeah, like really fresh.
Just like slippery down your throat.
It's
Yeah.
like groovy.
Groovy.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
That's exactly the vibe that we want for the weekend, right, Dave?
Oh, just a groovy weekend is all I'm asking for.
Oh, man, if only. Maybe some oysters on the table there. Yeah.
I would say, though, that if you are going to eat oysters, of course, one of the great things about living in Korea is you're never too far from an oyster selling facility. But to be fair, it's probably better to travel a little bit closer to the coast where you can enjoy them a little bit more freshly.
That's true. I mean, the best place to eat it would probably be like right on the coast so you could get them. A lot of the restaurants on the coast, they will literally get the shipments the morning of all of the fresh seafood. And speaking of which, Dave, you and I have compiled our recommendations for where to enjoy the milk of the sea, aka the fabulous oyster, this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. We have. Each of us have prepared a place that we want to recommend to each other and also to our viewers and listeners as well. Of course, we're also streaming on YouTube. Just search for Gwangju if you'd like to check out what Lindsay and I are looking like today.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough, but...
No, it's not. No way.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm loving talking about oysters today, but I do like traveling to eat. I'm a big fan of getting in the car, putting in the destination, and going and enjoying a lovely meal at the end of it.
Oh, and isn't fall like the perfect time to do that? You
a
just
little
get
of a road
out.
trip.
Yeah. All right. So if you were going to eat oysters, Dave, where do you recommend hopping in the car and heading off to this weekend?
I've got the exact place that I think you're going to love, Lindsay. Hopefully our listeners and viewers will love too. Not too far away from Gwangju, about a couple of hour drive, I'm going to say. I'm talking about none other than Yeosu.
Ah, Yeosu.
Close to our hearts.
That's right. We had a fantastic time at the 2024 Yeosu Future Education Expo this year, right, Dave?
Back in June?
Was it all the way in June?
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
We spent 5 days there broadcasting from the festival.
It was fantastic.
It was.
And you know what? Actually, both you and I, Dave, I would say we're pretty big fans of Yeosu. And shout out to our Yeosu listeners listening at 93.7 FM.
We love you, Yeosu. We want to get down there more often. But yeah, I would say as great as that expo was, one thing that I have to say didn't really sit too well with me, Lindsay, is we traveled all that way. And yet we didn't eat any oysters.
We didn't.
No, it wasn't the season for it.
That's right. And also, what I think is interesting, just an aside, is that usually I want to eat raw seafood in the summertime.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I came to Korea that I realized, what a folly that
Don't
is.
do that.
Don't do it. Because usually it's light. You want something light in the summertime. But I've learned that real good seafood, like oysters, is always best enjoyed in season when it's colder out.
Absolutely right. That's absolutely true. And that's why oysters are said to be in season right now. The period of oyster seasonality runs from October to February, so we're getting to the middle of it right now. And if you guys are looking for a place to go and eat some oysters, not only Yeosu itself, Lindsay, but I have a specific place to recommend.
Okay, what is it?
It's called Yeosu Gudon Maul. It's actually called the Oyster Village of Yeosu.
Oyster Village?
Yeah. Can you guess what they sell there?
T-shirts?
There probably are some t-shirts.
Keychains.
I'm sure there's some magnets.
Magnets.
Yeah.
I just imagined a village where all the houses are made out of oysters.
Sure,
That-
like SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, but it's not I imagine that they're probably famous for their delicious fare.
They are. Not just that, but also for oyster farming in general.
Oh,
There's something about the
yes.
region specifically. The seafloor is quite sandy, and that gives the oysters that are cultivated there a unique texture. And you can differentiate a Yeosu oyster with an oyster from any other region because of that nature, I think.
Can you really?
Yeah, allegedly so.
That's amazing. Okay, so where is this in relation? Is it actually in Yeosu?
Not
or
too
where is
far away from the city center, just south of the city center. So if you're going to go to Yeosu, you can really easily find that Gudon Maul. Go and enjoy some lovely oysters there.
Fresh out of the sea.
Yeah, and not only that, there are also some other nearby related things. There's a Gudon leisure camping ground, Yoga Campingdang, so you can go and enjoy some camping. It's a perfect time of year to camp, and this is actually a former school building. They've renovated it. They offer caravan, pension-style lodging, plenty of rooms. So go enjoy some oysters,
Wow.
enter the food coma, and go and sleep in the Guljeon Leisure Camping Ground.
There are so many cool things. A renovated old school.
Yeah.
What a cool idea. And you would imagine that they would probably have the perfect barbecue setups.
Yeah.
After you go to the maul, to the Guljeon maul, you get all those fresh oysters, bring them back. They probably have everything there to do up some good, like either fresh oysters or maybe some kui.
Oh, absolutely right, Lindsay.
맛있겠다.
맛있겠죠. So definitely check that one out. I'm looking forward to hearing what you've got to offer, though, Lindsay, because we each prepared a place. I'm suggesting Yeosu Guljeon maul, but I definitely expect that you're going to have an equally viable destination for us to go this weekend and enjoy some gur.
Well, you know what? Here in Jeonnam, we have one thing, and that is good seafood. So definitely I have something else to recommend. But why don't we take a break for a song first, since we've been talking about all this raw seafood. Do you have something a little bit 신선한?
Yeah, 그런 신선한 노래 있죠, Lindsay. We'll be
뭘까요?
back after this track. It's Cool and the Gang with Fresh. Fresh. She's so fresh.
That's me.
Cool and the Gang and Lindsay.
Me and the oysters, all
Wow.
fresh.
You're loving it. You're still, the song's finished. You're
It's
still
so
dancing.
good. You know, our PD is on a roll. Our PD is always good, our lovely HPD. But today, man, she is choosing some absolute bangers.
There you go. I think that the oysters are getting people in the mood for some good music. It's a good inspiration for sure. I just talked about Yeosu being my pick for a lovely place to visit. Lindsay, do you have a potential competitor? Somewhere that you think is worthy of, taking away my custom from Yeosu?
Listen, I don't know if anywhere can compete with Yeosu because, by the way, we love Yeosu on this show.
Shout out to Yeosu.
That's right, 93.7 FM, GGN
Love you.
in Yeosu. We love you guys so much. But I do have a different place, and this one is famous for something else, but it might be a surprise that it's also famous for its oysters. So we're going to head north this time to Boryong.
Okay, Boryong. Yeah, it's a nice place, also not too far from us here.
That's right.
Maybe a couple of hours?
Yeah, I think so. It's usually halfway between Gwangju and Seoul there. And have you ever been to Boryong, Dave?
I've been to the rest station, Lindsay.
Yes, the very famous Yeosu
No, I
there.
must have been there a bunch of times. I'm always looking for places to travel to.
It's pretty famous for foreigners for one reason.
That mud festival is what you're talking about. It's right on the coast there. Yeah, I've definitely been to that area a bunch of times. Just to the west of Daejeon, of course.
Yep.
Lovely place near to Taean as well. But Boryong in particular, it's also known for its gur, Lindsay.
That's right. In fact, they are having the 천북굴 축제, an oyster festival that is taking place this weekend.
Wow,
So
timing 그잡지잖아요.
맞아요. Saturday and Sunday, it's actually going to be held in the 천북 Oyster Complex,
Wow.
Dave.
Not just an oyster building.
No.
A whole complex.
That's right. You've heard everything now. Oyster villages, oyster camping장,
Amazing.
now oyster complex. This is near the Hongsong embankment at Boryong's northernmost area.
What exactly is the oyster complex?
I'm so happy you asked because for oyster fans out there, you might not be aware that there are around 80 oyster specialized restaurants all around the Jeonsuman Bay.
Wow.
80 different restaurants.
80. Do you think you could visit all of them in the course of a weekend?
Okay, let's see. If you ate one oyster at each restaurant,
It's possible.
can you eat 80 oysters?
I would say like 40 a day. I mean, it's going to be tough, but I mean, I like a challenge.
Well, Dave,
Do
I
you
know
think they would sell me one oyster?
No, that might be a problem. That might be a problem, actually. Okay, so you and 80 friends.
79 friends.
79 friends all head out to the oyster complex.
Well,
So-
that might be quite tough, though, because I know one thing about these sorts of chukdays, Lindsay. Often it's a bit of a, let's be honest, bit mayhem for parking.
That's true, but don't worry. There will be ample parking provided for visitors to the Boryong 천북굴 축제.
That's a relief.
And parking will be free.
Oh, wow. Gets better and better.
But you know
Is
what?
it popular?
It is very popular,
Yeah.
Dave. You might have to elbow some people out of your way on the way to the oyster
I need
bars.
to be rushing around to get my 80 oysters.
Yeah, you will. And
Yeah.
listen, there you will have some competition. 300,000 tourists visit the Cheonbuk Oyster Complex each year. So you can imagine a big chunk of those are during this festival.
Oh, incredible. When did the festival start, Lindsay?
Dave, you are just on a roll. I like
know?
it. Yeah, I do know.
Yeah.
It's been around for over 30 years.
Wow.
So it's one of the longest running oyster festivals
Wow.
in Korea. Yeah. The local residents in Boryong started just selling oysters and it evolved naturally
Sure.
from that. And it was officially established as like an official festival in 2001.
So I said before, Lindsay, about Yeosu's oysters having the kind of the special texture because of the sandy seafloor. Is there anything like equivalent to that in Boryong? You know, is there something
Yes.
special about the Boryong oysters?
Yes, so Boryong oysters, they're called 천북 oysters, and these oysters grow in the West Sea, which is called Seohae. There you go. And they have a very unique chewy texture and rich flavor, I am told.
Yeah.
They are also apparently very high in minerals, vitamins, and taurine, which is...
Oh, I love taurine.
Yeah, these days it's in a lot of energy
So hot right
drinks.
now.
So hot right now
Yeah.
for energy and also maybe reducing cholesterol and blood pressure. So very healthy oysters. I had no idea that in one country you could have so many varieties of oysters.
Well, the one thing that I've been thinking about, Lindsay, trying to get my head around, you said that 300,000 visitors visit the oyster complex. Are there that many oysters? You know what I mean? Like, they must have, like, millions of oysters.
There must be. I mean, how many oysters can be grown? And furthermore, what noise annoys an oyster, Dave?
Do you know that?
No.
What noise annoys an oyster?
What noise annoys an
love it.
oyster? It's a tongue twister.
What noise annoys an oyster?
That's right.
Yes. Wow, is that the sort of thing we can look forward to at the festival, Lindsay? Tongue twisters like that?
Tongue twisters galore. But on top of that, obviously there's going to be 개막식 and 폐막식. There's going to be singing contests, something that I know Dave would be down for, oyster tasting.
Oh, I would.
And of course, guest artist performances. You could also, if you're interested in it, see how people wash and prepare oysters. So a little bit of like a cheom. And I believe that there is a specific word for opening oysters, right, Dave?
I think you're saying in English.
In English, yeah.
I think, and I might be wrong this, I think we say to shuck an
That's
oyster.
right. To
Was
shuck.
I right?
You're right.
SHUCK?
That's right. There's only two things that we shuck in this world, Dave.
I don't know. Is this another joke?
No, this is a real
I don't
thing.
know.
We shuck oysters and we shuck corn.
Corn.
Yeah, shuck some corn.
What is it called, like when you have a peanut in the case and you have to crack the case open?
Oh.
Is that not shucking a peanut?
Oh, maybe it could be,
Because
Dave.
it's kind of the same concept, right? You have the shell of the oyster.
Mm-hmm.
Is the idea you have to crack it open?
And then like take it off, right? But why do we shuck oysters and not like shuck clam? Do we shuck clams? You know what? We're out of our depth here.
And we're not talking about clams today.
No.
Clams, there is another season.
No.
If you want a clam special, listeners, send in a message.
Definitely.
What's the difference between a clam and an oyster?
Great question. What's the difference between... I don't know where I was going with that. They're different species, but anyway, okay, I have one more
Similar.
thing. One more thing to say about the Oyster Festival in Boryong, and that is if you get tired and you're in a food coma from eating all of those oysters, don't worry, because there is an oyster walking trail. It's called 굴 따라길, and it provides beautiful sunset views over the West Sea.
Because
so.
it's on the West Coast. That
That's
sounds
right.
absolutely splendid. Yeah, I know that it's really effective if you're really full. Go for a walk, see the sunset views, and you know what, Lindsay, with it being slightly warmer this weekend too, you don't even have to wear the long padding. You can go out and enjoy it.
Oh, that's right. And get out there and enjoy it because, Dave, I don't know if you've seen the 일기예보, but next week, snap, it's going to be winter.
Well, look forward to that. In the meantime, though, do check out that Boryong Festival this weekend. Tonbuk Gulchukje. It's taking place at the Tonbuk Oyster Complex. Thanks for recommending that to me, Lindsay.
You're welcome. I also loved your recommendation of Yeosu. There is a Guljeon Maul down in Yeosu.
Sure.
From here, you can check it out, get fresh oysters over there, and even go camping in the oyster camping grounds.
Wow, so much positivity. Hopefully you guys got some recommendations for the weekend. We're going to be back with more of those, in fact, in a few minutes. Time for our Gwangju magazine. But first, let's listen to this track by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's Road Trippin'. Welcome back to the show. You're still tuned into Ome광주 here in Ggn, of course, 98.7 FM in Gwangju and 93.7 FM in lovely Yeosu.
That's right, lovely oyster-filled Yeosu.
맞아요.
But now it is time to explore the culture and events of our very own, much beloved Gwangju. So welcome to G-Wave.
Once again this Friday, I'm so happy to say we are joined by a talented local writer and publisher.
Who runs a magazine dedicated to showcasing the vibrant culture and happenings in Gwangju.
맞습니다. 그럼 지금 바로 모셔볼까요? Welcome back to the studio, Miss 백수지.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 수지 대표님
어디 가서
와주셔서
할까요?
감사합니다. 계속
할까요?
한 시간 동안.
좋아요. 여기까지 하는 게 나을 것 같아요. Yes! Great to have you back in the studio. What did we talk about last week? 우리 저번 주 무슨 이야기 했죠?
저번에 I think we did 한강? 한강
맞아요.
이야기 했죠.
한강 특집이라고 할 수 있을까? Maybe 한강 special.
맞아요. 약간 I think we talked about 우리 특히 소년이 온다 그 책 좀 집중하셨죠.
네.
저번에.
It's very interesting. 그래서 우리 그 저번 주 방송 끝나고 나서 저 린지랑 같이 이야기했어요. 다음 주는 대표님 무슨 주제 가져오실 건가? 그래서
맞아요.
많이 궁금했어요.
그리고 그 한강 관련과 너무 재밌었어요. 왜냐면 요즘 가을에 나 항상 좀 책 좀 댕겨요. 나 항상 좀
이런 계절 되면
맞아요.
책 읽고
무슨-
싶잖아요.
그래요. 좀 라떼 좀 이거 뭐 커피나 그런 거 좀 카페 가서 책 보고 너무 딱 좋은 계절이에요.
그렇죠. 그래서 혹시 뭐 대표님 오늘은 무슨 주제, 무슨 소식 알려주실 거 있을까요?
네, 오늘 또 역시 책과 관련된 소식을 가져왔는데
Perfect.
Yes, thank you.
그 두 분 혹시 그거 아세요? 저희 나라는 수능 날 기점으로 굉장히 좀 추워지는 경향이 있거든요.
그쵸?
그래요?
원래 수능 날이면 엄청 춥잖아요.
그래요.
근데 어제 수능 날이었는데
그렇게 안
생각해보니까 안
추웠어요.
추웠죠?
그래요? 오늘 그래도 조금 음산하지 않으셨어요?
그래요?
그래요?
저는 딱 좋다고 생각하고 있는데 춥다고 생각하시는 거예요? 저는 따뜻하다고 생각하고 있었어요.
맞아요. 오히려 우리들 그 혹시 봤어요? 그 대표님 우리 스튜디오에서 라디오 스튜디오에서 우리 에어컨도 들었어요.
에어컨 틀어야죠.
우리 그런 사람이에요.
근데 대표님 입장에서는 춥다고 생각하시는 거예요.
아, 그렇구나요.
뭐 어쨌든
어쨌든
11월은 사실 상당히 조금 상대적으로 따뜻했는데 이제 조금 추워지기 시작할 거예요.
그래요?
맞아요.
겨울이
우리
또 오잖아요.
동의.
네, 알겠습니다. 동의할게요.
동의.
동의합니다.
네.
자, 시작했어요.
그래서 추워지면 또 너무 바깥 활동만 하실 수 없으니까 제가 좀 실내에서 이제 즐길 수 있는 그런 공간들을 소개해 드리려고 이제 하는데 그 따뜻하고 이제 차분한데 그 대신 감성까지 있어서 가기 좋은 그런 광주 도서관들을 소개해 드리려고 해요. 두 분 도서관 자주 다니세요?
Dave, do we often go to libraries? All right, Dave.
저는 광주에서 산지 12년 됐는데요. 한 번이라도 안 가봤어요. 네.
Wow. How about, but Dave, now Dave moonlights as an English professor. Dave,
네.
교수님이라도 그 대학교 도서관도 가본 적
오히려 피해야 하는 곳 아닌가요? 학생 마주칠까봐
맞아요. 그거라고 하세요.
가면 안 돼요. 노리셨어요? 대표님?
화들짝.
Can't
린지는
believe
많이
it.
가보셨을 것 같아요.
Yes, because Dave, we used to be neighbors. Now, no longer. He's left me for greener
맞아요.
pastures. But 저희 동네에 그 새로 생긴 도서관이 있어서
맞아요.
자주 가요.
진짜 자주 가는 거예요?
자주 가요. 왜냐면 우리 집에서 뭐 한 5분만 걸려서 그냥 걸어가고 and they have English books.
오.
So 요즘에
저도 자주 가네요.
와,
문화 전당.
Hold on, no.
다른 도서관이지만 제가 린지한테 한번 추천했잖아요.
맞아요. 문화정답.
죄송합니다.
But libraries, I think we can agree, Dave, that libraries in Korea a little bit different
그쵸.
from libraries back home.
저는
right?
솔직히 그거 생각하면서 좀 걱정했어요. 제가 도서관 가면 뭐 저랑 비슷한 사람 없을 것 같고 대신 학생들만 가는 곳이라고 생각하고 있었어요.
맞아요.
네, 맞아요. 특히 저희 나라는 사실 몇 년 전까지만 해도 도서관은 수험생이나 취업을 준비하는
그러니까.
취업 준비생들이 이제 많이 활용하는 곳이었는데 그래서 정말 딱 조용히 공부만 하는 곳으로 좀 인식이 되어 왔던 것 같아요. 근데 최근 공공 도서관들이 조금 하나의 문화 복합 공간처럼 조금 개선이 되는 추세예요. 그래서 외국 도서관 풍경과 비교하시면 또 어떤지도
Oh my
궁금한데.
god, 100% 다르죠. 네.
정말요?
우리 캐나다에서 뭐 도서관 가면 근데 뭐 다양한 사람도 있고 그리고 아이들은 또 엄청 많고 좀
진짜요?
시끄러워해요.
진짜요?
시끄러운 정도 아닌데 근데 한국처럼 그렇게 조용한 곳이 아니에요. 사람들이 그냥 뭐 독서 취미로서 자주 가는 것이에요.
그쵸.
대부분 우리 집에서 공부 많이 해서 데이브는
네, 왠지 맞는 것 같아요.
그래요.
제가 어렸을 때 도서관 갔으면 진짜 뭐 재밌는 공간이라고 생각했을 것 같아요.
왜냐면 또 행사도 자주
그쵸.
해요. 뭐 스토리 타임이나
뭐 심지어 뭐
그런 거.
책만 있는 것도 아니고 뭐 게임이나 보드 게임이나 뭐 DVD도 빌릴 수 있고 뭐 또 저기 가서 무슨 뭐 토론 같은 것도 참여할 수 있고
맞아요.
한국이랑 많이 다른 것 같긴 해요.
Oh my god, Dave, 나 처음에는 나 문화 what do you say? Culture shock?
문화 충격.
충격 좀 받았어요. 그 처음에는 제가 그 여기 한국에서 도서관 갔을 때 너무 culture shock이었어요. So quiet. So quiet. Just I open my 필통 열을 때는
시끄러워.
아주 신경 써서 지퍼는
시끄러운 짓 하지 마세요.
편하게 책을 못 읽었어요. 그때는.
많이 다른 것 같아요.
심지어 책 넘기는 소리까지 책을 보는 곳인데 책 넘기는
그러니까.
소리까지
숨 쉬는 소리도.
맞아요.
sorry
맞아요.
everybody.
우리 말 맞죠?
네,
한국은
맞아요.
그렇죠.
근데
그래서-
요즘에 좀 변하고 있어요.
네,
여기?
그렇게 이제 외국처럼 조금 변해가고 있는 것 같고, 그래서 이제 북캉스라는 말도 이제 어울릴 만큼 북캉스를 갈 수 있는 그런 도서관을 조금 소개해드리려고 하는데, 제일 먼저 이제 멀지 않은 곳이에요. 이곳에서 동구에 있는 동구 구립도서관 책정원이라는 곳인데요. 작년 12월에 개관을 해서 사실 1년도 안 된 이제 신설 도서관인데, 그래서 굉장히 환경이 깨끗하고 쾌적하죠.
Oh, so that is the 동구 Public Library 책정원. 책정원 너무 신기한 이름인데요.
Book Garden.
Book Garden. 너무 이쁘다.
그쵸.
이름. I want to go to a book garden.
Yeah, it's like plants are made of books.
Right. Just growing out of the ground.
Wow. 그건 아니겠죠. But it does sound really nice.
너무
for sure.
이쁘다. 이름.
이름처럼 조금 잘 어울린다고 생각하는 게 저는 이 위치가 가장 마음에 들었는데 이제 저희 이제 각박하고 소란한 이런 도심 속에 있는 도서관이 아니라 제2순환도로를 타고 가다 보면 화순 쪽 가는 길이 있거든요. 그래서 그쪽에 푸릇푸릇한 전경과 함께 어우러진 3층 건물의 도서관이에요. 그래서 이제 단층도 아니고 이제 건물 자체가 도서관인 그런 조금 색다른 네, 건물이에요.
Okay,
Wow.
so for our listeners, it's not the average Korean
No.
style library.
It's
right,
a
Dave?
pretty large building. It's not directly in the middle of the city, on the outskirts, on the way towards Hwasun. If you leave Hakdong, heading towards that way, past the final subway station, you'll see it. It's a standalone building. It looks beautiful, situated in the middle of the mountains. New building. I think we just heard it was only opened last year.
Yeah.
And it's got 3 floors as well.
Yeah, and the inside looks very different. I'm having a look at some pictures right now, and it looks very different, I think, to the average
그쵸.
kind of public library. 진짜 신기해요. 그리고 약간 luxury한
Luxury.
느낌 좀 들어요.
Oh, luxury
네.
library.
There's like beautiful lighting, wood, chairs. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it'd be a perfect place to go and enjoy reading a book at this time of year. It's a huge building as well, so I'm curious about that. 그럼 그 층마다 뭐가 다르게 있는 거예요?
네, 이제 총 3층으로 구성되어 있는데 1층은 일단 아이들이 가기 편해야 하기 때문에 이제 아이들 자료들과 이제 북카페가 있고요. 또 2층은 이제 인문과학, 문학, 역사, 도서, 그리고 3층은 이제 자유롭게 그냥 이용하시는 그런 복합 문화 공간으로 이제 꾸려져 있어요. 그래서 아이들부터 부모님 그리고 학생, 직장인들 누구나 다 편하게 이용하실 수 있는 그런 시스템이더라고요.
Wow. So on the first floor, it's a children's reading room and a book cafe.
A book cafe in a library.
Oh, you know what? 나 항상
신기하네요.
그런 걱정이에요. 왜냐면 제가 도서관 갈 때는 나 항상 커피 땡겼는데 원래는 도서관 가면 커피 안 가져올 수도 있잖아요. 그
가져가면 안
안에로.
되는 거예요?
맞아요. 근데 여기는 북카페까지 다 있어서 좋아요.
그 북카페는 뭐 커피 먹을 수 있는 공간이에요?
네네, 커피도 판매도 하고 이제 드실 수도 있는 그런
이야.
정말
그럼
카페예요.
린지를 위한
I'm
곳이네요.
so happy
근데
right now.
그것도 맞고 그 2층도 왠지 린지 마음에 들었을 것 같다고 생각했는데.
What was on the second floor?
Because I know you love talking about 인문과학과
It's true.
your liberal arts majors you like to mention.
That's right.
그럼 저기 가면 왠지 린지가 읽을 수 있는 책 엄청 많을 것 같다고
That's
생각했어요.
right. So what was on the second floor? What
There's
kinds of books?
liberal arts, science, literature, history books, just kind of interesting books to read, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah.
And this is a 3-floor building.
그쵸.
What was on the third floor?
The third floor, bit of a mouthful. The third floor.
That was a very American way
The
to
third
say
floor is a multi-purpose cultural space.
Stop it! I know you're teasing me.
The
That's a
third
ve-
floor is great. Lots
Yeah.
of things to use. You can go and just use it freely. 좀 부담 없이 갈 수 있는 곳인 것 같아요.
맞아요. 또 위치가 이제 조용하고 한적해서 좋기도 하지만 사실 마음 먹고 도서관 가기가 이제 쉽지는 않은 곳인데 여기 가면은 하루 종일 이제 있을 수 있는 거죠.
Ah, that is
perfect.
like our dream. Dave, are you one of those people that would just love to be in a library all day?
Yeah, actually, I did say before that I've never been to a library, but I realized I do really love going to ACC Library downtown here in Gwangju. 좀 비슷하게 몇 년 동안 뭐 저런 곳으로 가고, yeah, you can spend several hours. 시간 지나가는 것도 모르면서 책 읽을 수 있죠.
맞아요. Except here in the Donggu Public Library, Czech Garden, you can also have your coffee at the same time.
Perfect. What more could you ask for? It sounds great, guys. Yeah, it's a wonderful location too. Not in the middle of the city. 좀 조용한 곳이 있어가지고.
맞아요.
그래도 좀 중요하죠.
Yeah, I think so. 위치가 조용하고 뭐 한적해서 좋긴 하지만 뭐 마음 먹고 방문했을 때도 책도 읽고 일도 하고 뭐 친구랑 같이 이야기하고 뭐 공부도 할 수도 있는데 여러 가지 뭐 다 할 수 있죠.
네네. 그래서 복합 문화 공간이라고 불리는 것 같아요. 도서관이라고 이제 칭하기보다는.
Sounds perfect.
그리고 이제 일단 인테리어도 저희가 생각한 뭐 되게 딱딱한 책상 이런 쨍한 눈부신 형광등
뭐예요? 형광,
네.
yeah, the fluorescent lights.
Too overpowering.
이런 불빛이 아니라 따뜻한 색감이나 되게 따뜻한 조명, 약간 그런 온화한 분위기가 이제 나는 그런 공간들인데 이제 이런 뭐 공부하기 좋은 책상이라기보다 오히려 좀 오래 머물 수 있는 좀 편안한 가구들을 많이 이제 사용을 하고 있고요. 소파도 푹신푹신한 그런 안락한 그런 가구들. 그래서 정말 집에 있어도 손색이 없는. 그래서 북테리어라고도 이제 요즘에 많이 하잖아요.
I'm sorry.
북테리어.
Bookterior? Bookterior?
책 인테리어라고 해서 이제 책장이나 책 선반들을 인테리어처럼 이제 굉장히 예쁘게 꾸며두시는 거죠.
와우, 처음 들었어요. 그쵸, 네.
우리 또 하나 뭐 새로운 단어 하나 또 배웠네요. 이게 무슨 합성어. 우리 지금 좀 많이 배우는 것 같아요.
그래요. Bookterior. Bookhanks. Maybe you've heard of a bookhanks, a bookcation, and now you heard of bookterior. 와.
한 가지 더 알려드릴까요?
뭐예요?
좋아요.
이거 제가 만든 건데
어.
북페어링이라고.
북 페어링.
Book pairing.
와인 먹으면서 책 읽을 수 있는 거예요.
아까 또 커피도 드신다고 하셨고 이제 책과 관련된 여러 가지 문화를 복합해서 이제 페어링해서 이제 한다는 그런 북문화를.
근데 현실적으로 그런 거 없죠.
에이, 이제부터 좀 시작했어요. Book pairing.
기분
You
안
heard it
좋아
first on
아니
GGN.
있으면 너무 재밌을 테니까. 저도 와인 먹으면서 책 읽고 싶어가지고.
Well, we're starting it now, Dave, right? All right. So listen, if I have a book, 예를 들어 book pairing은 뭐 와인이랑 같이 하는 아니면 그냥 커피랑 book이랑 예를 들어 뭐 나 데미안 책 아시죠?
네네.
데미안 읽을 때는
에스프레소 먹어야죠. 좀 어두워가지고.
Dave, are you a Czech sommelier?
Actually, I do think of myself as a bit of an expert. 왠지 그렇게 뭐 생각하면 더 재밌을 것 같은데. It sounds great. It sounds like a really unique place, as we said. What was the name of the place once again? The 동구 구립 도서관, 책 정원 specifically is what we're talking about. You just mentioned, Lindsay, a great place to go with your friends, great place to go with your family. You can relax. It's not just about studying as well. 뭐 이런 딱딱한 테이블은 없고 대신
맞아요.
편하게 뭐 책 읽을 수 있는 테이블 대신 뭐 준비되어 있는 거죠?
That's right. You can just really enjoy your books, right? But we are talking about how we can go with your friends.
그쵸?
But maybe 뭐 혼자 가기도 좋은 곳일까요?
보통 도서관 되게 혼자 공부해야지, 혼자 책 봐야지 가시잖아요.
그쵸.
맞아요. 근데
네.
좀 재미없어요.
그렇죠. 네, 맞아요. 그래서 이 공간은 좀 특이한 게 3층에는 또 복합문화공간이라는 곳이 있는데 수많은 그 룸들이 각각 이름을 붙여져 있어요. 뭐 저희 말로 순수 저희 말로 뭐 모둠, 누림, 배움, 바람, 해냄, 쉼 이런 룸들의 이름을 각각 붙여서 약간 여러 가지 스터디나 뭐 독서 모임 그리고 강연, 체험 이런 것들을 할 수 있게끔 이제 구비되어 있고 그래서 그런 프로그램을 같이 참여하실 수도 있고 또 친구들끼리 335 이제 이야기도 하면서 얘기할 수 있는 그런 공간이 있어요.
Sounds great.
That's so cool. So you can go by yourself, but as our wonderful 대표님 just mentioned, the third floor is divided into a whole bunch of rooms and I'm falling in love because they all have names.
What names are the way to your heart, Lindsay?
Yes, I love it when rooms have names. Like 테마 콘셉트 있으면 나 너무 딱 좋아해요.
So what of the names where there's 모둠, 누림, 배움, 바람, 심, and 해냄 그 중에 어떤 거 제일 마음에 들었어요, Lindsay?
보자. 아마 누림?
누림,
Yeah, which is
relaxation.
yes. Dave는?
Maybe I like 심, rest. 제가 쉬는 거 좋아하니까.
You can read a book and also sleep.
그렇죠.
Just put your head down,
책을
right?
보면서 잠들 수도 있죠.
But it's very interesting because in the rooms you can 뭐 공부도 할 수도 있는데 뭐 친구랑 같이 수달달도 할
문화
수도
체험
있고.
같은 것도 할 수 있고.
Wow.
Do some study session. You could gather with your friends or your classmates, I guess, and work together in a project.
Wow.
So it sounds great.
Yeah, I'm loving this. 그럼, you know, Dave, we've talked about how sometimes we like to go to libraries and we want to spend the whole day
그쵸.
there. But if you don't have coffee or you don't have something fun to do, it can get like a little boring.
그러니까 조금
I think.
재미없을 수도 있죠. 몇
그래.
시간 지나면.
맞아요. 뭐 하루 종일 있기 좀 뭐 어떤 사람은 뭐 지루하고 좀 답답하고 그런 생각하기 좀 쉬운데 근데 심심할 틈이 없을 것 같은데요 여기서.
네, 맞아요. 제가 이제 이 책정원을 정의할 때 한 번도 안 가본 사람이 있어도 저처럼 한 번 가게 되면 사실 계속 가게 되는
계속 갈
약간
것 같아요.
맛집 같은 그런 도서관인 것 같은데
그럼 맛 도서관.
마시는 도서관. 그렇죠.
와우.
와.
그래서
그쵸.
따로 갔다가 또 같이 어울리고 할 수 있는 그런 여러 가지를 즐길 수 있는 곳이에요. 그래서 사진 잠깐 보시면 아시겠지만 그 밖에 그 푸릇푸릇한 전경들을 볼 수 있는 그런 좌석 배치도 돼 있어서 그냥 밖에만 이제 보면서 멍 때릴 수도 있고.
그렇죠.
네, 그래서 모든 게 이 사용자들을 위해서 사용감 있게 설계되어 있어서 굉장히 머물기 좋은 곳입니다.
Wow.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
It sounds really lovely. I'm really curious though because we heard we got more places to visit. So perhaps we can ask our 대표님 in a few moments after we listen to a track. 일단 노래 한번 들을까요?
Sounds good. What should we hear, Dave?
We were talking about the 책정원, but we're going to listen to this track by Car the Garden. 차정원, it's Stay. car, the garden. Cha Jong-won is his name there with stay.
몰랐어. I just like my brain just exploded. 이름 진짜 자정원이에요?
Yeah, his real name is Cha Jong-won from
Wow.
Cha car, the garden 정원이라고 하죠. We also have the connection with the book garden. 그 책 정원이라고 소개해 주셨잖아요. That is in what we've been hearing from our 대표님 right now. 동국구립 도서관, specifically the 책 정원 there. It sounds great. We've talked about how beautiful it is. It's lovely location, but it's pretty far out of the city. 그 지도 보니까 살짝 좀 먼 곳이 있는 것 같아가지고 그리고 생각해 보니까 린지는 좀 시내 쪽에서 살아가지고 혹시 또 다른 조금 더 가까운 도서관도 추천해 주실 수 있을까요?
네, 이제 동구 도서관을 소개해드렸으니까 그 반대로 서구에 있는 도서관을 한 군데 소개해드리려고 하는데 너무 저희가 친숙한 곳이에요. 바로 시청 안에 도서관이 있습니다.
시청 안에 도서관 있어요?
네.
우리 몇 달
몰랐어요.
전에 시청 갔는데 도서관인지 몰랐어요.
저도요. 좀 소개해 주세요.
그 올 여름에 시청에서 1층 로비를 시민 편의공간 도서관으로 사실 새 단장을 했어요. 그래서 아직 많이 모르시는 것 같아요. 왜냐면 저희가 시청 갈 일이 사실 별로 없잖아요. 어느 때 시청 가세요, 두 분?
우리 홍보하러 갔어요.
홍보, GGN 홍보할
GGN
때.
홍보 GGN 소개해 주세요.
맞아요. 사실
우리는
자주 안 가요.
시청보다 출입구 많이 가죠.
맞아요.
근데 왠지 뭐 한국 분들이 뭐 여권 뽑을 때나 뭐
맞아요.
무슨 뭐 면허증 같은 그
거.
민원 신청해야 할 때 그럴 때 많이 갈 것 같은데요.
네, 맞아요. 거의 일반 시민들은 민원 이제 일 보러 많이 가시는데 사실 그마저도 요즘엔 온라인이 워낙 잘 돼 있어서
그쵸.
맞아요.
안 가셔도
네.
그래서
되고.
좀 찾을 필요
맞아요.
없을 것 같은데요.
근데 사실 시청은 시민들의 공간인 거잖아요. 이제 광주시 시민들이 주인이고 또 시민들의 접근성이 가장 쉬워야 하는 게 이제 맞다고 생각하는데 그런 측면에서 이제 1층에 도서 편의 공간이 이제 생겨서 시민들에게는 굉장히 좋은 의미가 되지 않을까 해서 소개해드리려고. 합니다.
It's completely right, Dave? Like the city hall is actually a space for the citizens of the city.
I mean, our tax is literally like paying for it. right?
That's right. And so there should be something there just beyond, what is a 민원 in English? 민원 영어로 뭐지? Complain?
아니 filing
Filing.
혹시 아시나요?
I don't know. 민원.
제가 알겠어요.
아실 수도 있잖아요.
Wait, you know who would know this? One of our listeners.
Wow.
Listeners, if you know what the English equivalent of 민원 is, please help, because Dave and I, despite being native speakers, are struggling.
그런 거 많이 없잖아요. 외국에서는. 영국에서는 뭐 그런 거 본 적도 없어요.
That's right. That's
우리
right.
시청 같은 것도 없어요. 영국에서는.
Yeah, I think we only go for some events or something, but
저는 한 번이라도 안 갔어요.
그래요?
네네.
Oh.
평생.
Well, you know what? You're not alone because a lot of Gwangju people also don't go to city
근데
hall.
이제 갈 이유 있겠죠.
That's
책
right.
읽으러 갈 수 있으니까.
That's right. Apparently that there is now they renovated the first floor space into a convenience area for the citizens.
그렇죠. 아주 좋은 것 같아요.
네.
맞아요. 근데 좀 설명 짧게 해줄 수 있을까요? 왜냐면 시청 도서관 생각하면 좀 딱딱한 느낌 좀
네,
나와요.
맞아요. 시청 안에
그거
도서관
맞다고요?
얼마나 형식적일까? 그냥 이런 고정관념이 조금 있으실 수
그쵸.
있는데 이번에는 작정이라도 하신 듯 정말 이제 인테리어나 모든
북테리어?
내부 공간들을 북테리어에 딱 맞게 이제 개설을 해두셔서 가시면 호텔 로비 방불케 하는 그런 구조예요.
그 정도예요?
네네.
Wow, like a hotel lobby. Okay, so don't think about like this is a city hall library. No,
No.
this is a city hall hotel lobby library.
It sounds really good, but one thing I gotta say it's missing. 우리 아까 이야기하면서 뭐 그냥 책 읽으면 뭐 재밌을 수도 있는데 뭐 커피랑 같이 커피 먹으면서 읽으면 훨씬 재밌을 것 같아요. 혹시 여기도 커피 먹을 수 있는 공간인가요?
네, 여기는 또 시청인데 이제 무인으로 운영이 되는 카페가 있는데
제가 제일 좋아하는 커피숍이네요. 무인.
무인. 역시 우리 eyes니까.
또 의미를 더해서 텀블러를 가져오시면 무료로
무료예요?
커피를 드실 수 있는 그런 시스템이에요.
Wow! So Dave, we can read books for free and we
Drink
can
free
get
coffee.
Yeah. How do we do that?
그러니까
오.
진짜 너무 신기해요. Two of my favorite things: free coffee, book, city hall 그 정도 아니지만 뭐 너무 좋을 것 같아요.
That's right. But Dave, you got to clarify for our listeners. How do we get the free coffee?
How do we get the free coffee? 꼭 무조건 텀블러 가져가야 하는 거죠.
That's
네네.
right.
You can't, no cups, no wastage.
That's right. Bring your tumblers from home, and you too can get a free coffee at the 시청 도서관.
Sounds good. I've got more questions. I'm sure you do too, Lindsay. 근데 일단은 우리 왠지 노래 들어야 할 것 같아요. 지금.
That's right. What do you think? Do we have any coffee-themed songs?
Of course we do. We got this one by Joy, a big nutty. It's 내 입술 따뜻한 커피처럼.
Super disco, getting us in the mood for the weekend. That was Sultans of the Disco. Welcome back to Gwangju here on Ggn. You're listening at 98.7 FM in Gwangju and 93.7 FM in Yeosu. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Dave.
And this is 백수지 대표님.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's here. She's our 전문가. She is sharing some ideas for us to do over the weekend. And today it's for all you bibliophiles out there.
그건 무슨 뜻인데요, 린지?
bibliophile은 책 사랑하는 사람이에요.
Book lover.
That's right. Book lovers out there. She has all the best recommendations for your next bookhanks.
Bookhanks.
Yeah.
I've heard of Holkanks. I've heard of Hwakanks.
Now you
I've
have
heard of bookhanks.
bookhanks, and we're learning a lot of different 책 관련 줄임말 like
그쵸.
신조어 today.
Bookteria.
bookteria, book pairing.
Book pairing. 근데 대표님 직접 만드신 단어 아닌가요?
That's
그래도
right.
좋아서 마음에 들었어요.
Yes.
네, 좋아요.
And so far, we've heard of a couple different places, right, Dave?
That's right. In the first part of the show together, we learned about 동구 국립도서관 책정원. It's a beautiful, like newly constructed building, kind of on the road out towards Hwasun. You can check it out. It's got 3 floors. Great for all of the family to go and enjoy. However, we did say a little bit difficult to get to. 뭐 차 없는 사람이나 뭐 좀 멀리 사는 사람이나 조금 가기 어려울 수도 있는데.
맞아요.
다행히 우리 대표님, she told us about a different place in the city hall. Newly constructed, not many people know about it. It sounds like a wonderful place to go, and even there is like free coffee shop, 무인 커피숍인데 그 무료로 커피 먹을 수 있는데 무조건 텀블러 가져가야 하는 곳이죠.
That's right. So you can get free coffee there if you bring your tumbler with you. It's a free library. I feel like all libraries should be free. Free library in City Hall with tumblers. Are there not
그러니까 생각해보니까 무조건 무료일 것 같지 않을까?
유료 라이브러리도 있을 수도 있어요?
있을 수도 있죠.
그래요?
어딘가. 근데 여기는 왠지 오늘 대표님 소개하신 곳 다 무료인 것 같아요. 근데 조금 아쉬운 점이나 어떻게 말해야 할지 모르겠는데
뭐예요?
우리 같은 경우는 대부분 6시에 퇴근하잖아요. 6시 다 되면 솔직하게 말하면 거의 문 닫지 않았을까 싶었는데 여기도 그러지 않을까요, 대표님?
맞아요. 공공도서관들도 어쨌든 이제 구나 시에서 운영하기 때문에 보통은 6시까지 문을 여시는
그러니까요.
경우가 많은데 이제 직장인들의 이제 니즈도 이제 충족을 해주기 위해서 1년 365일은 아니더라도 이제 여름, 하절기, 이제 겨울, 동절기 때는 밤까지 운영하는 곳들이 꽤 늘고 있어요.
오.
아까 되게 좋아하시던 책정원도 이제 지금부터도 9시까지 운영을 하고 계시고
오.
네, 꼭 그 책 빌릴 수 있는 야간 대출까지도 지금 된다고 해요.
Wow, Dave,
There
did
you
you hear that?
No, it's amazing, right? Not always, but often more and more places are becoming open, I guess, 우리 같은 직장인을 위해서. But yeah, the 책정원 specifically on the way to Hwasun is right now open up till 9.
Until 9. So instead of dinner and a movie, you could do dinner and a library.
Wow, perfect.
Wow.
그리고 마지막에 대표님 야간 대출이라고 하셨는데 그건 무슨 뜻이죠? 야간 대출? Book borrowing at night? 그거 뭐 대부분 그렇게 하는 거 아닌가요? 야간 대출.
아주 좋은 질문이요.
모르겠어요.
야간 반납 많이 들어봤는데
아하.
야간 대출하는 거 뭐예요?
도서관은 또 하나의 매력이 책을 빌릴 수 있는
그쵸.
거잖아요.
맞아요.
이제 근데 밤에는 또 직원들이 안 계시니까
어허.
그런 시스템이 안 되는 곳들이 굉장히 많은데
아.
책정원은 또 밤에 그런 책을 빌려주는 시스템까지 운영을 하고 계시다는 네.
Oh, okay. So
이해하게 됐어요.
that's a really that was a really good question, Dave.
감사합니다, 린지.
Because there are some places that are open at night, but you can't borrow at night because there's no staff. there.
직원이
It's like-
없어가지고.
Yeah. So, but in this case, 책정원 is open, and you can borrow.
Not only is it open, you can borrow as well. Amazing. I mean, no more excuses for somebody like me who hasn't been to go to the library too often.
Yeah.
아주 쉽게 갈 수 있는 것 같아요.
맞아요. 점점 좀 편해지는 느낌일 것 같은데요, 요즘에.
네, 사실 저 고등학교 때나 뭐 대학교 때까지만 해도 도서관은 가기 싫어서 억지로 가는 곳이라는
그러니까.
그런 개념이 많았는데 요즘에는 이렇게 가고 싶어서 이제 제 발로
그렇죠.
네, 가게
아.
되는 그런 곳이 되는 것 같아요.
I'm so happy because I think a lot of 아마 여기 한국에서 뭐 사람들이 엄청 뭐 약간 책 관련 트라우마 있는 사람들이 있을 수도
너무
있어서
열심히 했어가지고
그래요.
어렸을 때.
그래서 근데 이제는 점점 편해지고 점점 가까운
취미 생활을 위해서 또 하시는 사람도 있죠. 그렇죠. 이제 지금까지 소개하신 공간 두 개 다 좀 큰 곳인 것 같은데 왠지 생각해 보니까 그럼 뭐 좀 작은 도서관이라고 하나 그런 공간도 많이 생기는 것 같은데요.
네, 맞아요. 특히 이제 광주시에서 2018년부터 책 읽는 문화도시 광주라는 사실 슬로건을 갖고 매년 작은 도서관들을 꾸준히 늘려왔었거든요. 이제 보셨을 것 같은데 이 푸른 길 걷다 보면 이제 노란 장난감처럼
그쵸,
길
많이
위에
봤어요.
있는 푸른 길 작은 도서관도 있잖아요. 여기도 이제 무인으로 이제 운영이 되는 곳인데 정말 동화 같은 풍경이잖아요. 이제 이런 작은 도서관들이 작은 공간이지만 충분히 도서관의 역할을 할 수 있다는 걸 이제 보여주고 있고 굉장히 광주에 많이 생겼다고 해요.
Wow.
Have you seen those small libraries, Lindsay,
I
on the
have.
Purungir?
I have. Sometimes I walk on the Purungir and they're like, how would you describe them, Dave?
It's like a pretty small, almost like what is it called? A shipping container size.
Yes.
But it's got glass windows, unmanned as we just heard, and it's just a great place to go and pick up a book, maybe while you're going for a walk. It's fully functional, and we just heard from Dipyonim that more and more of those places are popping up as well. So clear to see that people are getting more and more interested in books, in reading.
That's right.
Yeah, it's
and I think
all cool.
so. 그럼 푸른 길은 남구예요?
네네, 남구 도서관이죠.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the Purungil runs from Gwangju 대학교 all the way to Gwangju-역. Originally, it was the train line that connected the two areas, but they took that train line out. It was pretty dangerous, and instead, 좀 위험한 곳이어가지고.
I'm glad that they took it out before they changed it into a walking
Then
path.
exactly. The second step was make that path. It's beautiful, and the libraries really helped to make it all the better. So it sounds good. I think we've got a little bit more time, but first we're going to listen to a track. 무슨 노래 들을까요, Lindsay?
Oh, well, our wonderful HBD has the perfect one. You've heard about Purungir. Welcome to 푸른 달 by 오오오.
To the show, listeners, that was OOO with 푸른 달, inspired by definitely one of my favorite places in Gwangju. Not 푸른 달, 푸른 길.
푸른 길. That's right. The walking path, very famous all throughout. You said Namgu and I think into Bukgu. I think
Yeah,
it does.
goes specifically starts from around Gwangju 대학교, runs all the way up past 백운동, 봉선동, past 조선대학교,
Really?
all the way to Gwangju-역 because that's where the train line used to run.
와우, 생각보다 긴디.
엄청 길어요, 린지. And yet you can enjoy not just the walk itself, but the 작은 도서관. Is there a name? It's literally called 작은 도서관.
The
이름이
small,
작은 도서관이죠.
네, 푸른 길 작은 도서.
푸른 길 작은 도서관.
the 푸른 길 small library.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's yellow as well.
Can't miss it.
왜 노란색으로 하기로 했을까요? 좀 모든 색깔 중에
그
왜
왜냐면 사람들이 they wanted people to see like 확 다 쉽게 볼 수 있는
그런가요?
색깔
Maybe
아닐까요?
also looks like a 나무잎 색깔 아닌가요?
In the fall, 가을엔 약간 낙엽 색깔 아니에요?
네, 아닌가요?
아니에요?
또 푸른 길이 또 푸른 길이기 때문에 노란 컬러와 잘 어울리고 어쨌든 도서관은 아이들이 자주 갈 수 있잖아요.
그쵸.
그래서 아이들의 마음을 사로잡기 위한 컬러가 아닐까 예측해.
노란색 그런 컬러인가요?
I
맞을 수도 있어요.
It looks so yellow. Hey, Dave.
네.
Before we move on,
네네.
we gotta bring to attention.
네.
We got a fabulous message
Oh.
from one of our listeners/viewers,
그러네요.
청취자/시청자, on our NotTube. Which, by the way, you can catch us Tuesdays and Fridays streaming live on YouTube.
맞아요.
Search Global 광주방송. We got a fantastic message. What was it, Dave?
한번 읽어보겠습니다.
Oh, 해주세요.
Yeah, pretty much a summary of what we've heard from 대표님 today. Our listener, who is named 치마이정, they said 책 정원 너무 좋아요. 시청의 도서관 무인 카페텀을 가지고 가서 책 읽으며 공짜 커피 마셔보고 싶어요. 좋은 정보 GGN 화이팅이에요. 와 감사합니다. 진짜 좋은 정보이라고 하시는 거 맞죠?
다 우리 수지 대표님 덕분이에요.
아닙니다.
맞잖아요.
수지 대표님 이 청취자에게는 한번 좀
뭐 말씀하실 말씀 있으신가요?
책정원에 가셔서 저를 보게 되시면 제가 잡지 한 권 드리겠다고.
Grown up Gwangju.
There you go. So listeners, you too can get involved by leaving us a message on our NotTube stream or by sending us a message to #9870. We already got a bunch of messages all about our quiz earlier on today, Dave.
It was a cool quiz. 대표님 혹시 꿀 좋아하시나요?
너무너무 좋아해요. I love.
I love
그래요. 책 읽으면서 꿀 먹으면 어떤 느낌일까요?
오,
그 페어링
좋은
어때요?
페어링인가요?
오, 좋은데요?
근데 생각하면 좀 어렵지 않아요? 좀 복잡해요. 한 손에는 책, 한 손에는
예, 이제 안 될 것 같아요. 생각해 보니까 안 돼요.
근데 북페어링이라는 게 꼭 책을 읽으면서가 아니라 책 이야기를 또 나눌 수도 있고
오.
그러니까 여러 가지로 활용이 될 수 있는 문화이기 때문에 가능할 것 같은데요.
Oh, okay. So there you go. You don't need a book to have a book pairing. You can just talk about
그렇죠.
books.
It's like book club
I like it.
with oysters.
글 book club. 글잼 book club. 와. 아하.
그건 아닌 것 같아요.
Guys, come on.
그건 좀 아닌 것 같아요. The book
Anyways.
club does sound fun. Book pairing is one word we learned today. We learned about bacteria.
Bacteria.
Sounds like bacteria.
Oh, it does when you say
bacteria 아니죠? 또 다른
Bookterior입니다.
배울 단어 뭐가 있었죠?
We learned about the 단어.
Yeah.
Bookterior, 북캉스.
북한.
Which was taking a vacation through books.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? And anyways, we almost are out of time, Dave. Do you see?
아.
We just have a couple minutes left.
말도 안 돼.
말도 안 돼요. 근데 우리 대표님은 뭐 거의 가실 것 같아서 우리 마지막으로 혹시 마지막으로 뭐 소개하고 싶으신 것이지만 아니면 마지막 한 마디 있으시면 좀 해주세요.
사실 저희 길 가다가 보면 도서관이 꽤 자주 보이거든요. 그래서 그만큼 도서관이 굉장히 많아요. 지금 광주에도 공공도서관이 30개.
정말요?
네.
What?
그렇게 많은지 몰랐어요.
Oh, 30 public libraries.
또 장애인 전용 도서관도 이제 한 개가 있고요. 또 작은 도서관도 이제 5개 자치구에 총 365개나 있어요.
그럼 매일매일 다른 도서관 갈 수 있겠네요.
우와,
1년
너무
내내.
좋은 접근인데요.
Dave, I know what we're doing for our next YouTube series.
너무 좋아요. 와, 진짜 어디저기 다 있는 거죠?
네, 그래서
Wow.
이제 크기도 규모도 다 다르니까 이제 다양한 도서관들 활용하시면서 이제 즐겁게 북캉스 즐기시면 좋을 것 같아요.
Sounds great.
There you go.
커피 먹으면서도 즐겁게 책 읽으면 좋을 것 같아요.
That's right. There's never a library too far away from you because as we just heard, not only are there 30 public libraries, but there are...
Well, there's even actually one exclusively for people with disabilities, which is wonderful to hear, and as many as 365 small libraries across the whole of Gwangju.
That's amazing.
So everywhere, you're never too far, as you said, Lindsay. It sounds wonderful. A lot of great information today. 근데 이제 너무 아쉽지만 우리 굿바이 인사해야 할 것 같아요. 네.
아쉬우신 거 맞죠?
맞아요.
진짜 아쉬워요.
가지 마세요.
도서관 이야기 하고 싶은데요. 뭐 다음 주도 다시 나와주실 거죠?
네, 꼭 나올게요.
그럼
네.
다음 주도 다시 뵙겠습니다.
감사합니다.
Oh, Dave, you know what? Do we have time for one more message?
We do.
Okay, so we got this message from listener 1029-1029님. They write, 내일 비 오면 도서관 가야겠다. And Dave, get this. They requested this song by 잔나비, November Rain.
Sense.
What a classic choice. Good choice, listener. We'll be back after this.
숨 쉴 수
That was November Rain right there by Dan Nabi. Thank you so much for that song request. I think we are predicting a little bit of rain this weekend, so maybe you'll be looking for a weekend activity, whether that's going to enjoy some seasonal food, maybe going to a coffee shop. Hopefully we've given you some ideas today.
Yeah, lots of good things to do inside, in Gwangju, or out of Gwangju this weekend. But you know what, Dave? It's almost time for us to say goodbye. Let's just recap, though. What did we talk about on the show today?
Yeah, in the first hour, we talked about the seasonal food that we are looking forward to enjoying this time of year, which was also the answer to our quiz question, so I'll save that for a moment. But we also shared two specific places. That was Yeosu that I talked about. You talked about Boryong.
That's right. There is a very special festival happening this weekend in Boryong if you're looking for something to do and you're into seafood and, of course, libraries. I am obsessed with the idea of going to Cheokjeongwon in Donggu.
It looks awesome.
It's you know what? It's definitely our style.
Yeah.
There's a cafe. You can read books while you drink your your coffee.
Yeah.
It's not like a study library. It's part of the Donggu Public Library, but it's definitely like a lot more relaxed and enjoyable.
I like the sound of that. I also love the sound of the new library that's been installed at City Hall at our Sicheong. Not only does that itself sound great, but there is even like free coffee available. You just have to take your own tumbler. Seems that lots of you guys have really enjoyed the information we've shared today. Delighted to see all of your messages coming in. And yeah, we hope you've enjoyed our show. Before we finish though, Lindsay, we should finally answer that quiz question we shared about an hour and a half ago.
That's right. The quiz question was, what is the milk of the sea?
바다의 우유라고 하죠.
맞아요. We gave you a bunch of other hints, but we were looking for this particular tasty 보양식, and it is, of course...
꿀입니다.
That's right. So congratulations. We got a bunch of different messages from listeners all about this. People saying 참 맛있어요. I like it. Oysters. So we'll get in touch with you with some great prizes.
Yeah, 그런데 아쉽지만 오늘의 이번 주의 오매광주는 여기서 마무리하겠습니다.
But make sure you're joining us from 12 to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday right here on Ggn. That's 98.7 FM in Gwangju and 93.7 FM in Yeosu.
And coming up next is the Music Lounge.
We hope you have a fantastic day, an amazing weekend, and we'll meet you back here at the same time on Monday.
Let's finish with this track by Yeosu. It's 그댄 달라요. 월, 화, 수, 목, 금.
오후 12시에서 2시까지
오매광주.